Hello, third graders. Today we're going to learn about a super important reading strategy that will help you become better readers. We're going to learn how to create mental images to deepen our understanding of what we read. By the end of today's lesson, you will be able to create mental images to help you understand what you're reading, and you'll know how to use text evidence to support your thinking. This is going to make reading so much more fun and interesting. As we read stories, our brains are amazing. They create pictures or maybe even movies in our minds of what's happening in the story. Think about when someone describes their favorite ice cream to you. Can you picture it in your mind? That's exactly what we do when we read. When we visualize, we use all of our senses. We ask ourselves, what do I see in my mind? What would I hear? What might I smell, taste, or feel? This helps us understand the story better. Mental images helps us visualize the content, making it easier to understand complex ideas. We create these images by taking a picture in our mind, just like a camera, and by using our 5 senses. Let me show you how this works. Listen to these words: chocolate, layers, cherries, strawberries, fudge, icing. When I hear this description, I visualize a beautiful chocolate cake. I can see the layers, the bright red cherries and strawberries on top, and the rich fudge dripping down the sides. I can almost taste how sweet it would be, and the smell, the chocolate. That's exactly what we want to do when we read. Create those vivid pictures in our minds. Now here's something really important. What is text evidence, and why is it important when we're visualizing? Text evidence means using the actual words from the story to support our thinking. When we create mental images, we need to point to specific words in the text that helps us create those pictures. Here's how we refer to text evidence when answering questions. First, read the question carefully. Second, look at text features and reread the text to find clues. Third, select the evidence that best support your response. Remember, we're like detectives looking for clues in the text. Now we're going to practice with the story called The White Crane. As we read, we'll use a strategy called Read, Stop, Jot. Now, I know we already read this story, but good stories are meant to be read over and over. We'll read a few paragraphs, then stop and ask ourselves, what mental images did we create? What text evidence helped us? How did these mental images help us understand the story better? Let's start reading. As we read, remember to read a few paragraphs at a time. Stop and create mental images using the text. Think about what you see, hear, smell, taste, or feel. Let me read you this paragraph. Swirls of snow blew across the path as the old man started home. He had stayed out hunting longer than he should have, but he still had no luck. Now let's practice finding text evidence together. I'll read this passage about the white crane, and then we'll answer a question about which sentence helps us visualize the bird's efforts to move. He quickened his pace so that the storm would not overtake him before darkness set in. But then he heard a plaintive cry. Slowing his pace to look, he saw that a great bird had been caught in a trap. It was struggling to free itself. Its wings beat the ground and stirring up the snow. He drew nearer and saw that it was a white crane. Hunger gnawed at the old man's stomach, but the crane was so beautiful that he could not kill it. He released it from the trap, and the crane flew away swiftly and silently through the falling snow. The sentence that helps me visualize the bird's intense effort to move is, it was struggling to free itself, its wings beating the ground and stirring up the snow. Now let's answer the question. Which sentence helps you visualize the bird's intense effort to move? The answer is C. Let's try another one. Listen as I read about the girl at the door. Later that evening, after finishing their thin soup, the old man and his wife sat by the fire, glad to be warm while the storm howled outside. Soon there was a knock at the door, a timid knock scarcely able to be heard above the wind. "Who can that be?" said the old woman. Who would be out on such a night? Her husband went to the door at once. Opening it a crack, he saw a surprising sight. A tall, slender girl, clad only in a summer garment, stood there trembling from the cold. Come in," said the old man. He led her to the fire. Which sentence best helps us picture what the girl looks like? The answer is, a tall, slender girl, clad only in a summer garment, stood there trembling from the cold. This sentence gives us specific details about her height, build, clothing, and how she's reacting to the cold weather. Which sentence from the text best illustrates the appearance of the girl at the door? You've guessed it. The answer is B. Which sentence from the text helps you picture how exhausted the girl was? Remember to select 2 correct answers. You've guessed it. The first one, seeing that she was extremely tired, they did not ask any more questions that night. And the last one, E, soon the wife had tucked her into bed, where the girl fell into a deep sleep. As we continue reading, our mental images help us understand the story on a deeper level. When I read about the old couple welcoming the girl and how the days passed pleasantly, I can picture a warm, caring family scene. This mental image helps me understand the theme of kindness and how people can become like family even when they're not related by blood. So why is it important to create mental images to deepen our understanding? Mental images make reading come alive. They help us better understand what's happening in the story, remember important details, connect with the characters and their feelings, enjoy reading more because we can see the story in our minds. Remember, every time you read from now on, ask yourself, what do I see, hear, smell, taste, or feel? What words in the text help me create these pictures? You're going to become amazing readers by using this strategy. Now let's practice with the activities in your packet.